Welcome. Today we're going to have an introduction on SPACs. My name is Cynthia Krus and Vlad Bolkin is with me. We're both in the capital markets group. So Vlad, can you explain to me what a SPAC is?
A SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company. It's basically a blank check company that is newly formed and organized to raise money in the capital markets and then eventually acquire a company, and after that it will be an operating company that is publicly traded.
So you've got to basically, you're raising the money and then you're doing the acquisition.
Yes. Initially you issue units that are composed of shares and warrants, and then you go out and seek a target within 18 to 24 months to acquire.
Why would a sponsor do this?
Because there's a great potential for upside. They could potentially multiply their investment by 8 to 10 times with a nominal investment.
And why would an investor want to invest in one of these?
Because it provides them with the opportunity to invest in a private equity type of investment while having the protections of being invested in a public company.
So how is a SPAC structured?
A SPAC is usually structured by having units issued, and those units trade on their own until there's a combination. And then there'll be shares and warrants issued, and it's usually very highly structured and regulated.
So how is the structure put together? Do you get the money and you get to put it into an acquisition immediately?
No, while you're seeking a target, the money has to stay in a trust account, and the target has to make up at least 80% of the net assets of the trust account when you actually acquire it.
So during the time you're trying to put together an acquisition, the company's really not doing anything other than reporting to the SEC and basically trying to find an acquisition target.
That's correct, and the company still has to maintain all the structure of a public company, such as having an audit committee and internal controls and all the other things that go with being subject to Sarbanes-Oxley. So
you've got the money, you've got the reporting, you just got to find the business to acquire, right?
Exactly.
And what role do the underwriters play?
The underwriters usually guide the company in their IPO, and they usually even invest in the shares during the IPO.
Great. Maybe just talk us through the steps or the process quickly.
Typically, it's like any IPO process. You register your shares on Form S-1. You have to list on an exchange. NASDAQ and the NYSE are the most common these days, and the underwriters have to go through the FINRA review process.
So it's very much like any other IPO, you just don't have necessarily your business, right?
Exactly.
And the SEC is very specific about not having that business in place, right? You have to wait till after you get the money raised to go out and look for targets.
Exactly, yes.
And what is so how do you find the target?
It usually goes through the founder's contacts, and you conduct diligence, and you negotiate agreements, and hopefully you find a target within the prescribed time period that was given.
And most of these are structured with a time limit on them, right? So
yes.
How long do you usually have?
Usually it's 18 to 24 months after the IPO to complete the acquisition, including obtaining shareholder approval of the shareholders that bought in the IPO.
Right, so that timing element is pretty critical here.
Yes, it's very critical.
And one of the reasons we wanted to talk about SPACs today is because SPACs actually contributed 20% of the overall IPO market last year. And there's been 8 of them already done this year for about $2 billion already. So we wanted you to know about this unique capital structure and capital raising transaction that you can engage in. Vlad, where can you learn more about this?
You can visit our team's website at publiclytradedprivateequity.com. And if you want to know more about our practice group, please visit Eversheds-Sutherland.com.
Thank you very much.